Yo, what up, MBH fam? Thank you for coming back to the channel. We got a fucking huge pod today. What do we got, News?
We're in South Beach, Miami, as usual. We're at the gallery. Shout out our guests for getting the spot for us. Appreciate you. We got Jordan Welch, big YouTuber. He's got a lot of knowledge in the business field, ecom, Shopify. So we're gonna get into all that. He's our kind of guy for real.
Yo, and honestly, he's got some really good YouTube comment, and he's almost had 1 million subscribers. So we got some questions for him. You know what I mean? We're gonna get you guys that knowledge as well.
Got the Tate shades on, so ready to talk some shit.
And guys, this episode is powered by the family at Bodog. We love you guys. Let's get into it.
They know that I go flip mode when I bust the rhymes. Man's on a different thing, man, I told him 100 times. I did a bunch of crimes, and none of them were done for the vine. So you can take that bullshit and stick that where the sun don't shine. The summer's up, it's about to get real cold. Late nights in the studio with the bros.
Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. Guys, before we get into it, you know what the fuck to do, all right? Like, subscribe, comment, hate comment. We love the hate comments.
Yo, we're gonna start reacting to the hate comments actually.
And we see you guys.
Give us your best.
We see you guys. We appreciate it though.
And yo, also twitch.tv/MBH podcast. Every week we're live on Twitch. We're gambling. We're having a good time. Some skin in the game.
Yep.
Poker tournaments, soccer, basketball, everything. All right. You already know though.
Yo, what do we got today, bro?
Yo, listen. We're trying to take it back to our roots right now. Talk business, talk value, give value to the audience as per usual. And our community being as beautiful and loving as they are, always giving us guests to have on the pod, people that they think would do great for our audience. So we got Jordan Welch here, bro.
Yo, hey, shout out to the community for recommending me, man.
Yes,
I
Of course,
appreciate that.
of course. We always trust our community with that.
Definitely.
They're the ones that make this happen, right? So
I'm a part of that community, by the way. I love this show. I love what you guys are doing. So
Appreciate that, man.
Feels good to be
Appreciate that,
here.
bro.
So you are how old right now?
I'm 24.
24 years old. And I
Yeah.
think you've done a lot so far for a 24-year-old.
Yeah, I would say so.
No? So I would say you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Is that what you classify yourself as?
Yeah, I say entrepreneur and creator.
I like that.
Yeah.
Always creating.
Maybe just a rundown. If someone doesn't know you, how do you explain yourself, your age, where you come from, the whole thing? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so look, I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life. I started my first business when I was 13 years old. And at that same time, I started doing YouTube. So my whole life has been trying businesses and failing, and also doing YouTube channels and failing.
Yeah.
Now at this stage of my life, I have built my first company that did pretty well. And I have my YouTube channel that is on pace to hit 1 million subscribers. So
Yes.
I've been literally failing for years and years and years, and things are starting to come a little bit together now. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a YouTuber. My channel is all about business, all about entrepreneurship. Been documenting my journey and also sharing the journey of my friends that are entrepreneurs all around the world. So that's what I'm about, man. I got an e-commerce business that I just recently sold around 2 months ago. And right now I have a software company that I've been running for the last 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you started when you were 13, you're saying?
Yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah. What was that?
Way back.
What was that first business? And why did you want to start it at that age?
Well, you know, I think when I look back, it was seeing my mom and the way that she actually lived her life. So she would wake up super early every single day, get us ready for school, and then drive about 30 minutes to go work a front desk job, making around $19,000 a year. And me, even at a young age, realized that was not necessarily the right path.
Were you like comparing it to other people's lives? Like, how would you know that lifestyle wasn't like, lavish or anything like that?
It wasn't about it was lavish. It was just I saw how much effort she put forth to get such a small result.
Yeah, the amount
and
of
it was able to take care of me and my sister. But that, I think, was what initially lit the spark for me. And growing up, I spent so much time on YouTube watching videos, and I would see kids that were making money from a young age. And the first way that I saw that was from people making money playing video games.
Yep.
So around the days of like Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, Throwback, I used to see these kids in these clans making money doing trick shotting. And I was like, man, if they can do that, I know for a fact I can make some money as well.
Facts.
So I wasn't the best at the game, but I was really good on the computer, and I had already messed around with YouTube in the past. So let me start editing videos for these guys and make a little bit of money doing that. Okay. And that was really how I made my first money on the internet. So it's not like I started a business or anything like that, but it showed me that like, okay, I can make a little bit of money online without actually having a job.
This was at 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking early, bro. Yeah. Like, that's very early to have that mindset to be like, okay, like, let me see how else I can make money, right? Because even at that time, like, in terms of the internet, like people really weren't understanding that like you could monetize on the internet.
100%.
To a certain extent.
Very early.
Unless you were watching YouTube though. That'd be like the only kind of way we'd be like, yo, these guys are playing video games, or you know what I mean, selling a product or whatever. And even then, selling products wasn't
people
even.
still can't believe it now.
Just crazy.
That's
That's
for real.
crazy, right? It's true though.
So you were like a freelance editor at that time.
Definitely.
Like you're so okay. Are you self-taught? You taught yourself everything in terms of editing?
Yeah. So like I said, you know, even prior to that, I had done YouTube. Nothing serious, but me and my friends making little skits, just funny videos, dog, like nothing too serious. And from that, I learned how to use Sony Vegas, which is what I was using at the time.
That's the classic.
Exactly. I was trying to teach myself how to fly and like get hit by cars and like weird shit just for the videos, you know, but that taught me how to edit. So I was learning from YouTube tutorials and different guides online. And yeah, I just had fun doing it. Like I was making a little bit of money off of it, not much, but a little bit of money. But more than anything, I was having fun with it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Along the way, like when I guess as you get older now, are you working regular jobs though? Like are you doing like the classic like part-time job here, or were you going like entrepreneurial from day one?
Yeah, so it's funny. So when I saw that I could make money online at that age, I kind of made this like bet with myself. I made a promise to myself. I even made it with my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm never gonna have a job.
Okay.
And they thought I was crazy.
That's
she was
not
like,
something a mom wants to hear. Like, you
no, not at all. She's like, okay, like, but how are you gonna make money? And at the time, she didn't really understand what I was doing at all. And I can't blame her for that. So I made this promise myself that I was never gonna have a job. So from the age of 14, 15, 16, I started doing different things to make money. So I was reselling sneakers.
Okay.
I started a clothing brand, selling clothes to my friends at school. I even took the money that I made from that clothing brand and reselling shoes, and I actually hosted a sneaker convention in my city.
Oh shit. Okay.
I had saved up about $2,000 from those ventures, and I rented out the largest convention center in my city to have people come to buy, sell, and trade their sneakers.
Jeez.
And it was on that day that I was like, okay, I definitely like don't need to work a job.
Yeah.
It's not that I made a lot of money, but it was the fact that like, yo, I did this at a young age. Like it showed me like this is the path I want to be on.
Yeah, we just had this conversation. We were talking like a couple of days ago in the car. We were driving to Tampa, and we were talking about like our like this is it moment, where it's like not necessarily that you made money. You could have actually made $0 from that moment, but it was the moment where you're like, yo, I'm that guy. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you know, like I'm in control.
Yeah.
Of this to a certain extent. Yeah.
It showed me that I could have an idea no matter how big it was, because back then that idea to me was huge.
For sure.
And I could execute on it. I could turn it into a reality. But something happened. Okay. So once I got to the end of my high school days, I had all these ventures that I tried over the years, but I ended with almost no money left over, a couple $100. Yeah. So Mr. Not having a job, you know, you're broke.
Yeah.
And your friends that do have a job, they got Honda Civics and they're doing better than
up.
you.
Yeah, they're up.
Exactly. So my mom was like, all right, Jordan, like it's done. Like you need to get a job. We fought over it. And one day she came to me, she's like, I got you a job. So she actually got me a job at this restaurant that she knew the owners of, and I was a busboy. So I was,
Classic.
cleaning up tables, all, you know what a busboy is.
Yeah.
And, I had that job for 5 days.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy because we like going back to it, we had this conversation, I think yesterday too. We're like, yo, what's everyone's first job? And it's funny because like, I was like, yo, my first job, I lasted maybe a month max. And then the second job was like 2 weeks. And it's like, you just have a gut feeling where you're not supposed to be there.
You know what happened was that I was working at the job, right? And one of the things they had me do was bring out glasses. I was like food running. Yeah. So I was carrying a thing with wine glasses, like 9 glasses in my hand. I dropped them all, bro. And it's like one of the moments in a movie where like everything slows down and everybody in the restaurant's like
stops,
staring at you. And I'm like, okay, after that, it was done. But in hindsight, I think it would have been smarter to actually work a job through high school because I could have stacked up a lot more money to use to start whatever business I wanted. But that being said, with the time that I had from not having a job, I developed these skills that I still use to this day.
That's what I was going to say.
And you could probably argue that you were learning more from doing that than you would from having a job.
Yeah.
And from going to school for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to ask quickly, how was your school experience?
Well, in high school, I really didn't have like a bad time or anything like that. I wasn't like super popular, but I had my friends that I enjoyed spending time with. I was super into arts. So I was making videos back then as well. And we had like a news at our school, like TV production. And I was like the director of the news at my school. So that was something I was like excited to do every day. But yeah, I wasn't partying. I didn't even drink until I was in my senior year of high school, almost towards graduation. Okay. So like I was just like kind of quiet kid. Just, you know, everybody kind of knew that I was the business guy because I was selling my shirts at school but I didn't really have a lot of money and I didn't have a car.
What was the brand called?
Retrospect.
Let's
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go. You still have any merch left or what?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Very rare.
I gotta grab a piece, bro.
Well, I only got like 2 shirts and I'll probably keep them forever.
Those are dead stock now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So from high school, you probably don't go to like university, college.
Well, you know, I had to.
Oh, you
did? Because
okay.
The truth is, right, I quit that job.
Yeah.
I had no money. And like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit on my mom's couch. Like, I really had no plan either on the next business I was going to start because all these businesses that I tried, I felt like I had exhausted my ideas for business. So I went to college. I went there for a full year and I wanted to prove to myself that I could like do the college thing. So I tried my hardest. I got straight A's. And by the end of the year, I was like, that was a tremendous waste of time. Like, I don't not want to do this again. Yeah. And it was a big waste of money. So I didn't do good in high school. I didn't get scholarships. I didn't get a good ACT score. So I had to get student loans for my education. And by the end of the first year, I'm looking at this like, yo, you are like $18,000 in debt. Now, not only are you broke, but now you're $18,000 in debt.
Now you're more broke.
Exactly. So I'm like, I can't do this again. Yeah. So in the summer of my first year after college was when I actually found out about Shopify. And I saw all these people online doing that successfully. I was like, you know, this might work for me. I've built websites in the past. I've edited videos in the past so I can create ads. I'm going to give this business a try. And that was actually the business where I had my first income, really, to the point where I could end up leaving college that same year.
Okay. So that was second year.
So yeah, I went for the second year for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And you saw a couple of dollars come in on the Shopify and you're like, I'm out.
That's pretty much it. I mean, in that summer, you know, like we could talk about that because at that time I had money from the refund check. So the refund is like when your student loans are done and you didn't use all of them for the year, they give you that money back in form of cash. So I had like around like $1,700, almost $2,000. I'm like, I'm gonna use this to start the business. So I was literally using that every single day to learn how to run Facebook ads. I was trying different products out. I was launching them on my website. And the first batch of products, man, completely flopped. I didn't make any money off that initial budget, but I started getting better. I started learning how to use this skill set. And it got to the point where I literally had to ask my friends for a little bit of money. And this was a low point for me. Like, I'm talking about it with a smile on my face, but this was like one of the lowest moments of my life. I'm asking my friends that don't have that much money to invest in this business that I'm working on. And ultimately, after experimenting with around 8 to 9 products, I found my first product that was making me some profit. And at that point, I make it back to college. I'm in class, and the only thing I'm doing in class is working on this business. I couldn't care less about macroeconomics and whatever. I'm like focused on the business. I'm getting Fs. I'm just failing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this business. I'm just gonna resign from college. Like, I'm just gonna do this. And that was really when things started to take off. And literally the following month, I had my first 6-figure month with Shopify.
Okay, what was the product?
Yeah, so back then I was actually selling this product. It was a knife sharpener. Sounds like such a silly product,
but those are the ones that pop. Those are the ones that pop off.
Yeah, I mean, my logic was that everybody has knives at home.
Yeah.
We showed a video ad of somebody trying to cut something and it wasn't cutting right and they kind of like slipped and cut themselves. So we showed the problem and then we showed this solution of this sharpener that could make it happen really easily. And man, that product was doing good. It was like a $50 product as well. So off 2 orders, we're making $100.
Yeah.
So from that product, I was really able to scale to my first 6 figures a month. It wasn't perfect though, but that was the first time I saw money coming in for real to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an apartment with my friends. I'm done living with my mom. I'm just gonna keep going all in on this business. Yeah.
And I like that, like the whole moving out thing, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, you need to put pressure on yourself to a certain extent, right? Like if you're having now, let's say 6-figure months, or at least a couple of them in between each other. If you don't give yourself, like, I always say is that people think we're crazy. Like me and him have done this since day one. Like you don't give yourself like payments to make, whether that be rent, a car, or whatever, things that are going to like build up your lifestyle. Yeah. Then you kind of become complacent. But when you know, when you know, like, yo, I got rent to pay, I got my car insurance to pay, my phone bill, this, that, whatever the case may be, you got like you know like you're pressured to continue making that much money or more, right? To sustain that lifestyle.
Gives you that extra push.
We usually like you save money and then you start buying shit, you know, but we do it like the opposite. We're just like buying shit and it's like, okay, now we got to make more money.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's
a risky strategy, but it actually works. And there is some logic behind it, like you just said. And it's something I've done in the past as well.
But I think it's like, again, that comes down to the kind of person you are. Like, yo, if you're not hungry, do not do that. That is the last thing you want to do. But if you know you're someone that will push yourself to the limit to get shit done, then I think that's a pretty, a good way to maneuver your business, your life, and whatever that may be, right?
Yeah, it's like placing a bet on yourself.
Exactly. Investing in yourself, your lifestyle, who you are, right? Because then obviously you start making this money. Maybe you're not buying the rollie right away, but you're probably dressing a little bit nicer, buying yourself, doing some nice dinners or whatever, which also is like adding to like the whole image. I'm curious, at that time, when you start seeing 6-figure months off that first product, are you also trying to build like a brand for yourself? Like the Jordan Welch brand? Or at this point, is it just strictly Shopify, whatever? I don't need to be involved in this.
Yeah, so I actually did start building up my brand, but it wasn't intentional. Okay. So what happened was I was sharing my results with this business because I was really happy about what I built on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And at the time, the only people that were following me were like my friends and like family members, but they were asking me, how are you doing this? What is this thing that you're doing? So to help them, I created a YouTube channel breaking down this business model that I was running. And you could go and you could see those videos today. Yeah. There's nothing in there of me trying to like sell a course or nothing like that. It's literally just like me with a PowerPoint and my laptop with a webcam, just breaking down this business that I'm doing. And as a result, that actually got me an audience going. That video started getting shared across different Facebook groups and communities around Shopify. And I was able to get my first 1,000 subscribers within a month. So Amazing. It was like, okay, I can do this too. Yeah. So alongside running that Shopify store, I started posting almost every single week on my YouTube channel, talking about the business, talking about Facebook ads, talking about mindset, all just the type of stuff that I was learning at the time, just because I wanted to share it with the people.
So how did you know that documenting that would be important? Because like not anyone just thinks of that. When you start sharing what you're learning, like how did you know that was the right move?
I don't really think I was looking at it with a macro approach at the time. I think I was just doing it just because like I wanted to do it.
But it was so important because if you didn't show those numbers, it wouldn't have started up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in that position might have been like, yo, I'm not going to show anyone what I'm doing. Maybe I'm not even doing the right thing, or like, you know what I'm saying? People could judge you. So to do that, fuck, bro.
I think it goes back to my roots. Like I said, I've been doing YouTube for a long time. The first video of me on YouTube, you can go see it, is from 2011.
Crazy.
So like, I've been doing it for a long time. So I do have a real passion for YouTube. And I've been able to ignite that again in my life. And now YouTube has become like the main thing that I really focus most of my energy on. So, YouTube it's always been something I loved. So I guess in a way I saw that as an opportunity to make videos again, even if I wasn't trying to go viral, because those first videos I made, none of them were getting views. I was getting some subscribers, but I was not getting views at all.
Yeah. So what's the next step from there? You move out to mom's crib, you're doing your thing, having some 6-figure months. What's the next step? Where do you go from there?
Well, I would love to say that it was just like a constant climb and like here we are today, but I started to let it get to my head a little bit. Okay. So what happened was I had my first year on Shopify, I made around $700,000 in revenue. In total, this was the first time I had over $100,000 like in my bank account. So I was like, okay, we got some money now. Let's go. Like the YouTube channel got a couple thousand subscribers, and I always had this dream of moving to Los Angeles. So I was like, I had this thing in my mind like, oh, I can't stay in my hometown. Even though I had a great apartment, like I loved where I lived and I lived with some of my closest friends. It's like, I gotta move. I gotta go to LA. I need to be around bigger people, So, bro, I literally went on YouTube. I started watching apartment tour LA videos. I found this one video that I liked, and I ended up signing the lease for the apartment like within a week. I went there, I checked it out, I signed the lease, and I moved. It only took me like 2 months to make the decision to move to LA. Okay. So at that point, I'm in LA. My Shopify store at this time was doing all right, but I also had a different stream of income now, the YouTube channel. Yep. People wanted to learn, so they were paying me for coaching. I had created a training program that people were also purchasing. So I had money coming in a couple different ways. But once I moved to LA, I think I got lost in the sauce a little bit because I stopped focusing as much on the Shopify store because I got comfortable in the way of how much money we had in the bank account. I saw money coming in from the other things, so I started focusing on that. And I spent about a year in LA just operating at like a kind of like a plateau.
Yeah.
On the surface, everybody thought I was like super lit that year because, you know, I'm this kid from Fort Myers, Florida out here in LA doing Nobu dinners and hanging out with people, going to different clubs and stuff. But like the reality was I wasn't making that much money.
Yeah. You
so
were just kind of like staying, like you're just there, kind of just floating.
Yeah, man.
Floating through.
And it was good, but it was like not as good as it looked on the screen. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I hear you. At this point, do you have partners in the business? Only you? How does that work?
Yeah, you're doing all the editing, you're doing everything yourself.
No, but even the Shopify stuff, like from a macro level, any partners in the business, or is it just strictly you?
So that first Shopify store I did actually started with a partner. It was somebody that I was really close friends with.
Yeah.
We were good friends in high school, and we made a lot of videos together. So when I was in high school, like me and him were doing film festivals, killing the competition. We got a bunch of trophies together. Like this was like my right-hand guy. He's still my homie to this day. But we were building that business together. And as I started to grow the business, I started to take over each operation, do things just because I think I'm more into like running it. And he was starting to lose interest in it. Even though we were making money, he wasn't really that excited about the business. He didn't really want to do it that much. And I just took basically over the whole thing and he was cool with it. So we kind of parted our ways. So I started with a partner, but he kind of just phased out and I broke him off a little bit of money and we just continued from there. So that's how I got started. But ultimately I was running the business by myself. Yeah.
And even till this day, same thing?
Right
by
now?
Yourself?
So my software company that I run, I do own it by myself.
Okay.
And my YouTube channel, there's no partners in there, but my videographer, and he kind of edits the videos as well. Like he does get a percentage of the AdSense revenue of my channel.
Okay, right on. So you moved to LA, you do your thing. You're kind of just like partying again, lost in the sauce.
Yes.
You said you were there for what, 2 years?
I lived in LA for 2 years. And the first year was very much what I just described to you. The second year was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like
what the fuck?
Wake up, like you got to get right. So I started another company, and it's the company that I still run to this day. It's called Viral Vault. It's a product research software for people that want to start their own Shopify store. And I did not realize how expensive it is to build a software company. So I'm sitting here seeing all these guys making recurring revenue, making a ton of money. I'm like, I'm gonna do a software business. But man, very quickly I understood how expensive it is to get this business off the ground. And I also had a business partner at the time for that business. Somebody that I didn't really know that well. We met through the internet. And to keep that story short, he did me wrong. We started the company. We launched like a basic version of our product. We stacked up around 20 G's. And once we got to that point, we were like, we're going to take all this and we're going to invest it and build a better app. We're going to build a full-on platform. And him and I got into a little disagreement about the future of the company. And this man ghosted me on all platforms, took all the money out of the bank account to his personal account, and that was it. So now I had to come out of pocket in the savings that I had, which had dwindled down over that last year, and start the process of building this company. And the whole year of 2019 was me trying to build this company. So I'm doing 10 G's a month payroll every single month, along with my almost 10 G's a month in lifestyle expenses. I'm watching my money go like this, bro.
That's crazy.
And it's like my software company is being built, but there's no money coming in from that. And by the end of 2019, I mean, I had the company ready, the product was ready to launch, but I was really down to some of my lowest financial situation ever. I wasn't even running the Shopify store anymore because I had focused all my energy on this business. And again, by the end of 2019, it was like I worked the hardest I ever did, but I was truly at one of the lowest financial situations I've ever been at.
I did you wrong, eh?
Yeah,
like
very
I did you
wrong.
Dirty. What's his name, bro? You could put him out there. We could find the man.
He gone. You know, he used to have a YouTube channel and all these. He gone now.
So I'm curious. The maybe talk a little bit about your company, Viral Vault.
Yeah.
What do you guys do? Like, I know you kind of said briefly, but give us a little rundown of what it is. All right, guys, we interrupt this podcast to bring you probably the most important message of your whole entire life. All right.
Wow.
You guys know what the fuck? Crazy, eh?
Crazy.
That was crazy. Listen, NFL season's underway. It's literally, I'm gonna just actually go back for a second. Every single sports fucking league is firing right now.
They're firing hard, man.
NFL, NHL, MLB, MLS, every soccer league possible, literally everything. Hockey, the whole fucking thing. It's crazy. It's insane, all right?
The boys got to have some skin in the game, though.
Always, always.
All right, listen. If you're going to use Bodog, you gotta play with crypto, all right? There's zero transaction fees, all right? Zero. Everyone's always complaining about transaction fees. They don't have any if you use crypto. And you know the boys are using crypto. So if you have any crypto, throw it in there, throw a bet in. You're really going to watch a game with no skin in the game?
Come on, bro.
We're businessmen out here. All right.
It's-
So use crypto if you're gonna bet. First time deposits with Bitcoin can get up to $950 back. $950 matched.
It's crazy. Yo,
That's easy. That sounds pretty easy to me.
come play with the boys on Bodog, all right? We're going to be streaming every week, live on Twitch, picking our favorite games, putting some crazy parlays in. Like he said, skin in the game always.
Shout out to the fam at Bodog.
Yes.
All right. Shout
My
out to the
favorite
fam.
platform. I've used literally every platform there is. I'm not gonna share on the rest of them, but Bodog has been my favorite to date. For real. We've been crushing it on there. Come follow the boys, Twitch TV, MH Podcast, Bodog. We love you guys. Let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, so we've expanded now. The way I describe it is it's the all-in-one toolkit for anybody looking to start their Shopify store.
Okay.
So we have a training program inside of there taught by industry experts, people with over $10 million in combined sales, myself included. We also give everybody in there 2 winning products every single day. So my team is going out there finding products on a daily basis that are going viral on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and uploading them directly to our platform. And we give you everything you need to launch those products. So we give you marketing, we give you descriptions, we give you copy, competitor data. If you're trying to start your own store, it's one of the best ways to do it. We also have coaches, and this is not like a super expensive thing. We have coaches that answer every question. So if you're getting started, man, you by yourself trying to figure this out, you got a community of people there that are answering your questions every single day.
Yeah.
So it's like we got the community, we got the software, and the training. So if somebody's looking to start their store, that's kind of what I built it for.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks like, the online stores. I mean,
It is.
We kind of dabbled maybe 2 years ago, maybe. We were like, yo, we gotta, because we see everyone, right? We're like, yo, this person's making
seems
this,
so easy,
this person's
bro.
doing this person's selling all of these products. And it's like, and especially the type of products, right? Like what
Yeah.
you said, a knife too, right?
Yeah.
So like maybe talk to us about, because you probably see a lot of people starting stores, failing at stores as well. So what are some common mistakes that you see from people starting stores?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people get into the game and they try to create something brand new, right? They try to find the newest trend. When the reality of it is, you can make great money finding stuff that's already working and putting a slight twist on it. Like you ain't got to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to come up with the next invention. You can find products that are already making money and you can piggyback off of those and get a piece of that pie. That was the shift that started making me my first money on Shopify. And as a matter of fact, over the last 2 years, I built a store that did around 1.8 million in sales, and I sold the business 2 months ago. And I say that to say, I was not the first person to sell that product. On paper, I was kind of late to that product, but I was still able to turn that into a brand that changed my life.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest things that, you know, people watching, if they want to start a store, need to understand is that find what's already working and figure out how you can just put a slight twist on it.
So Mike, so are you creating like a brand for the products? Or you're saying like, all right, these cups are going viral, whatever, even for the last couple of months and they've been selling. Are you then grabbing it and being like, okay, we're going to call this
The Jordan
whatever.
Cup.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that the approach you guys take? Like a brand approach?
Well, I think if you do it that way, it can take way too long and it can be very expensive. Okay. The most efficient way that I found is to build a store for testing products. So you build a store that's branded. Let's say you wanted to sell some cups like this.
Yeah.
You build a nice store designed around home goods, things for your house, nice furniture, pieces, whatever. And then you can take that product, you can launch some ads on TikTok or Facebook, and you can experiment and see if that product does well. If it doesn't do well, you can find another product that's trending. You can try that one out. For me to find this product that I built my brand off of, I experimented with around 4 products.
I was going to say, how many products until you find generally?
In my case, it took me 4 until I found this one that I scaled to that level.
Yeah.
But I've also been doing this for many years. For people starting, it's going to take them a couple tests. But if you follow what's already working, you can do it a lot faster because you can literally just piggyback off what somebody else is doing.
So the business you just sold now,
Yeah.
Can you say what the business is?
I can say exactly what the business is, just the exact amount I sold it for
No, yeah,
is.
you gotta say
yeah.
that. I mean, if you want to, hey, like, if you can. Yeah,
No,
what's
so
the business?
the business is called Sleep Band.
Okay.
So basically, it's these headphones that are built into a sleep mask. So every night you sleep with your eyes covered with some white noise or some podcast, you know, money buys happiness in your ears, you know, putting you right to sleep.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's the product that we developed. And I started, like I said, drop shipping it. So I found it. I built a store. I tested a couple products and I saw this one was doing good and getting sales. And then I took it down the branded approach, like you're saying.
Okay.
So at that point is when I see this product doing 500 a day in sales, almost 1,000 a day in sales. I double down on that product. So we get fast shipping. We customize our website to actually have a logo. I order it from Amazon. I take photos, me and my friends, family, and that's when things just skyrocket. At the peak, I was doing 17,000 a day in sales with that product.
Damn. So would you say like at the start, let's say you're starting a store, you wouldn't really have a brand behind it, and then you see how it goes. If you see it has potential, then you go full force. And you're just doing ads. You're not really on other socials with it, promoting it.
Yeah, just the ads, and exactly what you're saying. I wouldn't start with the brand, because the thing about the brand is that you put all this effort and energy into one product and then it doesn't work. So now you got to rewind and then do it all again for another product. Yeah. Whereas if you build a platform where you can test multiple products, it's way more efficient.
Yeah.
What would you say? What would you say is a good starting sum of money for someone to be like, hey, I want to go out there, test some products, and become the next Jordan Welch? How much money would you say generally you need?
Well, you know, it's great. And I think one of the biggest opportunities for people now is actually organic TikTok. And that requires no money. Facts. So, you know, I've met so many people over this last year that are absolutely crushing it on TikTok, selling products, dropshipping without running ads. So they literally order the product on Amazon. They post videos every single day of the product based off of trends that they already see. They're not coming up with the trends. They're just following the trends that are already out there. And I've seen people able to get to 6 figures a month with no ad spend.
That's
so
insane,
if you're on low budget, I would say that's actually the best way to get started with Shopify right now. Okay. But if you want to run ads, you got to have at least $1,000 to get started, because at that point you could test a few products and you're not strapped for cash, like to the point where you're going to go broke if you launch a product.
Yeah, I hear you.
And when it comes to even testing the product, like when do you know it's a bust? Like how long do you give that product?
Usually you can tell within like 2 to 3 days.
Damn, that fast.
Quick, yeah.
Just
fast.
Because, you know, let's say you're spending $100 a day on a product, and you got a $20 profit margin. You'll know pretty quickly based on the first amount of sales you're getting if it's going to be able to scale or not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say 2 to 3 days. And then after that, you can start to push the product a little more and see if it can scale. Because some products can reach $1,000 a day and just cap out. Yeah. Other products can go $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a day. So it depends on the product.
Even Shopify in general, though, like what year did you start?
2017.
Okay, so from 2017 until now, like people would say, okay, but maybe it's too saturated now. Maybe I missed the boat. What do you say to those people?
I don't think it's the case, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is selling products online.
Yeah.
And the biggest business in the world is Amazon. One of the biggest businesses in the world is Amazon. And some of the other biggest businesses are Shopify stores. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That being said, the strategies change a little bit over the years. You're not going to be able to get it the same exact way that you was going to get it in 2017. True. But to think that this business is saturated, I think is foolish. Yeah. It's the same thing as somebody saying, oh, you can't start a YouTube channel now because it's too saturated. Yeah. It's like, of course it's not too saturated. People are always going to watch videos. People are always going to spend time on social. People are always going to buy products online.
Yeah.
So what I would say to somebody that said it's saturated is get better.
Facts.
Get better. You know what I mean? That's the best advice. Get better.
I want to talk about Seed Bank quickly.
Yeah.
How did it go down in terms of the sale? Like, if you can talk about in terms of like how you were approached and what that whole situation looks like, because I think that's like something that a lot of people, entrepreneurs in general, they sort of dream of that moment.
Yeah, they
like,
prep for an exit.
Someone comes and is like, dude, I'm ready to buy your business. So if you can walk us through that, whatever you are allowed to say.
Yeah, it felt great. It was a dream. You know, like when I started the business, that was my goal. I didn't want to run this business for 10 years. I wanted to build it up and sell it, especially because I was documenting the whole thing on my YouTube channel, literally from day one. You could see when I first started it. And I wanted to tell this story of, yo, he started this. I got to watch him build it and sell it.
Yeah.
In terms of the actual sale, I used a broker. Okay. So the way that works is that you reach out to the broker and you tell them, hey, I'm looking to sell my business. You get on a call with them, hour, 2 hours long, just breaking down everything, P&L, product description, competitor data, everything. Then they go out and they create like a sales packet, basically breaking down all the numbers of your business. Like, so if somebody was going to pitch your business, they have it right here.
Yeah.
Then they go to their list of buyers and they promote your business with that packet. And from there, you're going to get on a couple meetings. Some people are going to be interested, so they want to talk to you personally and interview you. I got around 5 or 6 of those meetings. The first guys gave me offers I didn't really like. The 5th guy gave me an offer that I liked, but I didn't really like him, and I didn't think he was going to do a good job with the business. And then I got in touch with this last guy. He had everything that I was looking for. He gave me the right price that I was looking for. But after our call, he ghosted me.
Oh,
Damn.
I didn't hear from him for like 2 months. I was texting him like,
Yeah.
you know, hey, what you
Just
doing?
talking to
No,
yourself. Talking to yourself. Yeah.
yeah, literally. And
I know
then,
those ones.
yeah, man, it hurt. It felt like a girl that curved you or something like that. I had my vision set. But then literally at the end of July, I hadn't heard from the guy in a month. My broker texted me. He's like, yo, he's ready to close on it tomorrow. Like, are you available? Are you ready to do this? And we were able to get the business closed on August 1st.
Wow.
Damn.
Congratulations.
And like, it just happened out of nowhere. I was reaching this point in my mind, like, yo, I'm not going to sell this. Like, I'm just going to have to keep running it.
Yeah.
And it was tough for me to run it because of how hard I was going on YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
You know, to run a business like that requires all of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You're
So
saying
I
that's
was
like a
like-
full time.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
scared that like if I didn't sell it, then it was going to kind of go to a tough ending. But then it popped up and God popped in and I got the business sold, man.
Damn.
So yeah, man.
Now, post selling the business, that has given you the opportunity just to focus on YouTube now
And my software
and your
business.
software business.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, anything you're looking to buy with that exit money, anything specific, and that could be another investment. That could just be a fucking watch you've always wanted. Like,
Yeah. Well, I did buy something that I always wanted. So my sister was actually a big part in the process of me building this company. She did customer support for us for over a year. And more than that, she was like a manager in the whole thing.
Cool.
So I was actually able to buy her the car that she always wanted.
Oh, that's dope.
She's like,
That's dope.
I love Nissan SUVs. This is my favorite. She got 2 kids. So I got her like fully loaded, like Nissan Rogue.
Let's go.
I had another employee in the business that I really cared about and has been with me the whole time. I got her a vehicle as well. So
Let's
like, you know, like taking care of the team was step one for
You
me.
have to, yeah.
And on top of that, man, you know, I have most material things that I want at this point. I got my car that I always wanted. I like where I live. My mom's good. She got a vehicle from me. Like, I got the things that I want. So for me, it was just the fact that, okay, my net worth boosted a little bit. I got some more cash. You know, it feels nice. You got a little more of like.
You're walking around with a little more swag.
Yeah.
right?
No, how'd that feel though? Like giving the car.
Oh,
Seriously.
man. So we were at Disney World.
Yeah.
And it's actually on my YouTube channel.
Okay,
But we were at Disney World and she had no idea. Like, so I drove the car up to Disney. They made it there before I did. So her and her 2 daughters was in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell her the first night. So we were just hanging out. Like, everything was normal. Everything was cool. That next morning, we were going to go to the park. And I was like, hey, let me go grab something from my car real quick. Come with me. And then she's walking out there with me. And I had the car just sitting right there. And man, she started crying her eyes out.
Yeah.
You know, I was just showing her the whole car. She couldn't believe it. It was like a dream, you know. That's the second car I've given to somebody. And like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it's like the craziest feeling.
I was gonna say, like, everyone that we talk to who has made a bag and then did something with it, whenever they say that they gave it back to somebody they cared about, whether that be a family member or someone in the business or a friend or whatever, they always say like there's no better feeling than that. Like there's nothing that they've done in their career, short or long, that has made them feel that way.
Definitely.
And we've done it on a very small scale. Like
Yeah.
no cars yet.
We'll
But,
do some cars though.
Nah, you're going to get there. And
Soon.
it's not necessarily about the money or the amount of what the gift is. It's just about the fact that you give back to somebody.
Yeah,
you know?
and I gotta say, like, for us, like, it felt great, bro. And I'm always just like, we're always trying to think about like how can we give back more. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's just it brings
Givers
purpose
get.
to your life, but it brings
Yeah.
purpose to your life. You know, I think people when they see YouTubers or entrepreneurs give things away, they always think it's like you're trying to flex. You know what I mean? And listen, obviously there's some selfishness in
a
it.
bit of a
that-
flex,
that you
something, yeah.
feel. You know, it's a little flex, but you feel, but it's the feeling that you get from a purpose perspective that I think, you know, you won't understand unless you actually do it.
100%.
Right?
Of course, you know, you could say there are some other intentions with it, but at the end of the day, the smile on that person's face and the feeling that they get every
Yeah.
day from what it is, it's like, it's more than anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is my sister. This is my mother. The things that they did for me is like way more than business.
Can never
Yeah.
pay them back.
A
Yeah.
car is like whatever. Like the
Yeah.
things that they
Yeah.
did for me, dog, like they deserve the world. So,
Facts.
you
So,
know.
Facts.
so you saw the potential clearly of like Shopify and YouTube. Was there any other platforms on your come up, let's say, that you were like, damn, this could be big? Or like, were you focused on Instagram at all, Twitter?
I
Anything
mean,
like
I
that?
made a lot of money off of Facebook.
Dope.
Now, this is not something that I do as much anymore, but I had built up a Facebook group with around like 15,000 people.
Okay.
And at the time that I was doing coaching back then, I was getting a lot of leads through my Facebook group. This is not something I run anymore, but Facebook was a huge platform for me.
And by group, like what were you doing in the group? What was the group for?
I was just posting while I was running my Shopify store. I was just posting value, posting screenshots of my store, sharing things that I'm learning, interacting with the people, answering their questions. And as a result, you build up more trust with the people. They want to get on a call with you and you can promote whatever product you want.
Yeah.
But now for me, it's just YouTube all the way. I feel like I found my lane there. I have a full on passion for that. And like, I want to do this for as long as I can.
Yeah. I feel like YouTube just like TV. It's just a new TV.
Definitely. My little brother, my niece, they don't watch TV. They watch Darman. So like,
it's all on YouTube now.
Is YouTube the long play for you?
I would say so.
Yeah.
When I look at everything that I'm doing and I zoom out, that's the one thing that remains consistent.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it will look like in 10 years.
Sure.
But I definitely would like to be on this platform doing what I can for as long as possible.
Yeah. 100%.
In terms of like being an entrepreneur as well, I mean, we like to talk about this, like your habits and the kind of mindset that you've built up, right? Like what are some things that you do, whether it's daily, weekly, yearly, annually, whatever, that help you stay locked in, because you're pretty much looking at a screen most of the day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you're looking at numbers and you got to be really attentive to detail at the same time. So take us through that and kind of how you built up that mindset.
Definitely. I think one of the most important things that I do every day is I try to get into the gym.
Yeah.
So I have a trainer, and I didn't always have that, but regardless, I go to the gym pretty much every single day. When you sit at home and you're working at the computer, you need to have some physical fitness in your life. Another thing I always try to practice is gratitude, man. Like really, no matter how much money you make, if you do not build up your own gratitude, it's never gonna come. Like you are gonna always have this black hole inside of you. No matter how much money, no matter how much fame you get, it's gonna be inside of you. So you have to pray, you have to thank God, you have to practice gratitude. And I always like to talk to my friends and family, like every day, just a little check-in, make sure my mom's good, make sure my sister's good. Yep. Like those would be my habits, you know. Reading and all these things are important too, but like you ask me what I do every single day, that would be the core.
I feel like even just like talking to family and stuff, that humbles you.
Definitely.
Like, you know, like your head could be getting big at one point and you're like, fuck, I got to call mama back home.
You
put me back down to earth, you know?
Or it'll gas you up. Like sometimes you need your family to remind you like, yo, you were literally in North Fort Myers sleeping on a couch a couple years ago, and now look at what you're doing. Like sometimes you need that reminder as well.
I saw one of your, I think it was either a TikTok or a reel that you posted. It was like, it was with that trending sound that's like, oh, I didn't think I would make it, or oh, I'm a YouTuber now, one of those, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, it's true, right? You got to look back to be grateful about where you are, because being on, I feel like being online too, like catching fame online can really get to your head.
Yeah.
Even more so because it's just numbers. You're just looking at numbers. You're looking at clout, digital clout.
Yeah.
Right. And they can get to your head, but that's dope. Do you meditate or anything like that?
Yes, not as much as I once did. And my meditation is in different forms. You know, I like to ride my bike.
Yeah.
So I'll go no phone, no AirPods. Almost every day I ride my bike. So I'm riding my bike, just thinking, just peaceful. Like I'm not always like 20 minutes like, oh.
Yeah.
But
it's tough. It's tough.
It's good though. It's really good to do that. And at one point I had like a 300-day streak on the Headspace app, you know. Okay. But what's crazy is that I found when I had this crazy morning routine that was like 10 steps, and I like read and journaled and meditated and ran and took to the gym and cold shower and then ate a breakfast, and then I started working, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't as effective as when I just wake up, start working, or wake up, go to the gym, start working. Like, I think a lot of times people get way too wrapped up in this whole 10-step morning routine. Like, you don't need all that to get started.
Because that feels like a job itself. That, when you do it like that, yeah.
And then what happens is like, if you build up those crazy like routines, if you don't do that, then you just feel like
you feel like, oh, my day's fucked now. I didn't do the steps.
So you need to be able to perform without all that.
It's crazy because like I was in that for a little bit, and I was trying to have like the fucking 10 steps to fucking greatness. You know what I mean? And it's like I was trying to actually make it work. I'm like, okay, but how am I supposed to read? And then the cold shower, what comes first? The cold shower, the meditate? Like, I was like, yo, like, how am I supposed to feel? Like, it was just too much. But I get what you're saying, because people can get wrapped up in it. And obviously there's a lot of coaches out there that preach like that hour-long wake-up routine. And it's like, but once you do it, like, you can't really force that upon yourself. You gotta still do things you like doing.
Those hours in the morning, that first hour, that's when my brain is like firing at its most efficient. I'm coming up with my best ideas. I'm not distracted. I haven't been on Instagram yet. I haven't watched YouTube videos yet. Like, my brain is ready. So like, I want to use that for my business. I got all day to go to the gym. I got all day to do this other stuff, but like, I want to use that fresh energy as soon as possible.
I think people got to just like try all these things and pick what works best for them, their lifestyle, their business, their job, whatever the case may be. But bro, moving and going to the gym somehow is the most underrated thing. Yeah. And I think especially for entrepreneurs who are trying to hit that next level, you know, grow their business, grow their brand, whatever the case may be, is like a lot. And I was one of those people, you get stuck in front of the computer because you just think like, oh, if I spend 7 hours, 8 hours in front of the computer, I'm going to get so much shit done. Meanwhile, You wake up, go to the gym, come back, you work 3 hours. You did more in 3 hours than you would have done 8 hours had you stayed home.
Definitely.
It's that mental and physical, just the motivation, the movement. It gets you going. Like, you know what I mean? So shout out Coach Delph, by the way. That's our trainer too.
Yeah,
he keeps the kids moving. And man, ever since I started really taking it like more serious, it's been the last couple months. You just feel better. Like, you know what I mean? You just feel better about yourself. So
the numbers been going up too.
Numbers been going up. But it's that classic thought of everyone's like, yo, I'm gonna get rich first, then I'm gonna get fit. That's like always the mindset.
Backwards, bro.
Yo, thank you, bro.
Backwards.
I think even John brought that up, John Shahidi on this pod. And he's like, yo, I was so focused on just work. I thought I could just work and then worry about it later, you know? And to hear it from a guy like that too was huge, right? Because it's like, yo, we're all human at the end of the day. We're not superhumans, right? So like, but
also like you put it to the side because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna work, and then one day I'll think about like my health and my fitness. But bro, if you don't have that, you don't have anything else.
It's so true.
And I think people just forget that, right? And we've been so programmed to pick up our phones. My neck's like this, is down.
Look,
we all got the same shoulders
you know
in here, bro.
Your eyes are fucking, dude. I'm losing my vision. I'm like, bro, I gotta start moving. So it's so underrated.
Was there anyone that, especially in the Shopify game or the YouTube game, that you were looking up to at the time? Anyone in particular?
What's good, boys? I interrupt the podcast to talk about something that I'm really passionate about. All right, sleep. And when it comes to sleep, I need a little bit of help sometimes. Okay, and when I need help, I use the sleep pills from the Full Sense Ups, okay? You guys been seeing it. We're traveling all over, okay? Guests literally all over the States, and we're flying in and out of Canada, and it gets tough when you're sleeping in like these fucking horrible planes where you're like this, your fucking neck's broken, like it's insane. So to help us out, we usually like to rip these. I like to rip these. You know, helps me just kind of get that extra couple hours when I'm on the plane, so that when I wake up in a new city, I'm ready to go and get my shit done. I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of people just have trouble sleeping in general. You know, insomnia kicks in, you're staring at your phone too long and whatnot. So rip these, okay? Give them a try. Let me know what you guys think. Hit us in the comments. Hit me in the DMs personally, whatever it is. And to get a discount, super simple. MBH15, supplements.co. And let's get back to the episode.
Man, so many people, you know, but more than like the big names that you would know, it was being involved in these smaller communities and seeing people that weren't famous that were making 1,000 a day, 20,000 a day that nobody knew about. So it was like, I'm seeing them and I'm like, okay, if this random Joe can do it, I'm going to make it happen as well. Yeah. But, you know, I take inspiration from everybody, you know, whether they have Shopify or YouTube or whatever. I feel like I can get inspiration from everybody. Even y'all, you know, I love what you're doing with your show, the people you guys are connecting with. Like,
appreciate that, bro.
I saw recently, I got to talk about it because I'm big fans of both these guys. I seen your last IG pic. You're with Iman and Sneako.
Yeah.
I've been
guys.
I've been
a big trio, bro.
I literally told him, I'm like, yo, those are two guys that we need on the pod, straight up.
Yeah. Gotta do it.
Like Sneako, for obvious reasons, he's just popping off right now.
Yeah.
But Iman as well, like super fucking motivating.
It was a great dinner, man.
Yeah.
Like we had some great conversations.
You a watch, no?
Yeah, Iman gave me a Yachtmaster. Rolly.
Okay, how'd you? Let's talk about how you connected with him, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so the way I met Iman was because he wanted to do a YouTube video with me on my channel. I had this series where I basically interview entrepreneurs, and I had been following the guy for a couple years prior. Now, I was expecting to go out there, link up with him, film the video, and call it a day. But Iman showed us so much love, it's crazy. So he flew me and my videographer out first class to London, which is, them are not cheap tickets. Damn. He got us an Airbnb that was like a mansion, like crazy London, like fat Airbnb, and just took care of us like none other, bro. So whilst filming the video, we had a great time. We hit it off immediately. Like I realized, okay, more than making a video, like I really want to be friends with this guy. Like I like him as a person. And at the end of the video, I actually bought him a gift. I got him this like crazy, like 1 of 20 camera. It was like a Canon. I know he's super into film cameras. And man, after that video did some numbers and we had a good time in London, we just continued to talk on Instagram and on WhatsApp. And he ended up coming out to Miami. And of course we had to link up. I was not expecting him to have nothing for me at all. Okay. But then we're sitting at the table and he's got an Hermes bag next to him. And like, I'm thinking, oh, he's Iman. You know, of course he got an Hermes bag. Like I didn't think nothing of it. And then he's like, what watch you wearing? I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my date dress, whatever. He's like, oh, check this out. And he opens up this box and it's a brand new Rolex for me. And on the back, it's got engraved, you get what you give.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he tells me at this table, he's like, man, I saw what you did with your sister and I appreciate what you did for me. So, you know, it's only right that I get you back. It wasn't my birthday. It was nothing. He just did it. Like,
that's crazy.
That would have brought a tear to my eye, bro.
I gave him a big old hug, man.
Yeah,
like
real.
a real, like just, oh man.
He seems like a real one. When you watch his stuff, like I watch his stuff, I follow him.
Definitely a real one. Probably one of the realest that I've ever met.
Crazy, like I love when the motivation is taking care of your family, and that's his big thing. I know with his mom and whatever. It's just like crazy to see it, right? And then just like such a young guy with so much power, like you could say so much money, but I feel like power is even more important. The fact that he's got this community that just fucks with him like on another level.
Yeah.
Obviously the money is a great addition, right? Because he can say, yo, I want to do a video with Jordan, let me fly him out. Having that opportunity is great, but overall it's just power. And that's a big thing. Like I've just been with my boys and whatever. I'm just like, yo, you got to be powerful. Like, there's something about moving like a boss, feeling like you got
It's a
power,
mindset. It's a mindset.
you know? And so fuck, like, yeah, we got to get him on because
He
he'd be
definitely
crazy.
embodies that. I'll reach out. I'll see if we can set it up.
What do you think about Sneako, his content, what he's been doing? For those that don't know Sneako, go figure it out
You guys
yourself.
know
You should know who
Sneako. You guys
Sneako is
know
by
who
now.
he is,
Y'all
you
know
know?
who he is.
How'd you guys connect?
Yeah. And what do you think
thing.
about everything that's been going on? We'll get into censorship as well, for sure.
Yeah, so the Sneako story is a little different. The way I met Sneako was I was actually a fan. I loved the videos on his original channel. And he had a Patreon. So I paid to join his Patreon. And inside of the Patreon, he would do these reviews. So he'll review your video for you. I did a video where I bought my mom a truck. It's one of my favorite videos I ever made. And I sent it in to him to review the video. He was roasting me in the video, just classic Sneako.
Yeah.
But, you know, he saw it for what it was. And he was like, man, this is dope. Like, shout out to you. He actually followed me. Over that span of like a couple months, we didn't really talk that much, but like we made that connection. And he started reaching out to me here and there. Yo, I saw the new video. I'll reach back out to him. But eventually he came to me at a certain point and was like, man, I want to do a brand deal with you and your Shopify store. He's like, I want to make some extra money. Can we do that? So I gave him a brand deal with my Shopify store and he actually promoted my product. And after that, we were kind of locked in a little more. He wanted to know more about business, how to make more money, because he had a huge channel at that time, but he wasn't making that much money. So we started talking on the regular. And then eventually it gets to the point where he wanted to do something together.
Okay.
So his project that he has, the creativity kit, I kind of helped him put all that together. Me, him, and his editor, we put all that together. I'm not involved in it anymore, but I helped him get it off the ground and get it launched. And man, from that, we became super close. I helped him find his apartment in Miami. So, you know, we were hanging out pretty much on the regular as he was coming to Miami. And yeah, I mean, overall, it's my guy. I wish him the best. It sucks what happened to him. It really, really, really sucks what happened to him. But, you know, I think he'll be all right. He's a strong guy. And he's got that audience that is so strong that they'll follow him wherever he goes.
Any platform. I guess talking on that, you
what do you think about censorship in general? Because I mean, like, that's something that we got to start watching out for. You know, we're a podcast, we talk our shit, bro. And like, we don't really edit shit out. We don't really we're not really
We don't give a fuck.
We don't really give a fuck.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's important. The thing about censorship is like, I don't think that anybody deserves to be deplatformed. But at the end of the day, we are all creators on these platforms that have rules, that have terms, and they don't care about y'all. They don't care about me. Even if I had 5 million subscribers, they don't give a fuck about me because they got another person with 10 million subscribers. True. So if you don't play within their rules, they're going to shut you down.
Yeah.
So what do I think about it? I don't think that people deserve to lose all their platforms. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a content creator, you got to accept that you are kind of like an employee for this company. And you got to follow the rules that they provide. And, you know, I kind of told Sneako that as well. And I was scared for him that what was going to happen. But, you know, it did. And, you know, but he's the type of guy that, like, he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to do what he wants to do because his message is so powerful and he want to spread that. So, you know, I can't knock him for that.
Yeah, I think we always say this, like, long term. I think not giving a fuck and speaking your mind, especially if you believe that it's for the better of, let's say, humanity, because I know that's pretty much like Sneako's play. That's his message. Is like, we always say these guys long term are going to prosper, bro. Yeah. Because as much as I agree with you, where there are these rules with YouTube and these other platforms and whatever, like, the tide's sort of turning with certain topics and situations in the world. And I think that the creators who are putting their channels and their, you know, I won't say audience, but their channels at risk are the ones who will long-term prosper, right?
But where it gets tricky though, and I want to ask you guys about this, is like, okay, yes, they in theory will prosper, but if you don't have a platform to spread your message, how could you?
Well, okay, so then I've been having this conversation a lot with people, is Rumble is one of them. We just started posting some content on there just to give it a go.
You got to get better though. We were talking about that off camera.
I know that like these other platforms are going to start coming along, right? And guys like Steve will do it, who's exclusive to Rumble now.
Yeah, he's going to bring a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to slowly start happening. There's going to be platforms who are going to say, yo, we don't care what your message is. We're not going to deplatform you. Say what you want, and we'll let it. It's a free market. We'll let the audience, the viewers decide if they want to watch you or not, right? And so I think that once the pressure gets put on these guys, YouTube, whoever, they need pressure. They need competition, because right now there's a monopoly in the market. You want to be a content creator and you're not on YouTube, you're slipping.
Problems,
Like, you know what I mean? Okay, sure, you got Instagram, you got, TikTok, but you're not really making much on there unless you've created your own product. And even then,
And
it's
your
still
following
tough.
has to be huge.
That's the question: is can you beat YouTube? Can anybody beat YouTube?
Yeah, well, I think it's gonna take people making the switch. It's a long-term play. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know how hard Rumble's gonna have to go to get the job done, or even compete and let's say take away 10%.
Yeah, they don't really have to beat them though. They could just like be like
Their own thing.
their own
Yeah,
thing.
but it's-
Even with less, let's say they have less of an audience than YouTube, like you said, like to beat YouTube, man.
Well, the thing is, even okay, like let's talk about Rumble as a business. Rumble as a business, bro. If they can snatch 10% of the market share from YouTube, they're laughing.
They're probably gonna
bro.
be happy. Yeah,
They're laughing.
That's a
They'll
big.
be-
That's a
That's
big.
a lot of
big
people.
what I'm
ticket.
saying. They'll be happy with it. But I think that as the world changes and we're in a certain cycle right now, which like we can go, that's another rabbit hole, but that's more like a Sneako conversation, I think. But in that rabbit hole that we're in the cycle that we're in, we're slowly coming out of it. And I do think that these platforms like YouTube will start adjusting a little bit. But right now, like I said, they got nothing. They got zero competition and no pressure from
No
anybody,
pressure at all.
right? Zero pressure. So it gets tough because then you can talk about like legislation and stuff like that, but we won't go down that route. That would be for another day.
Let's talk about though you coming back to Miami. Well, you're not coming back. You're moving to Miami. You're from Fort Myers. Talk about the difference between being in LA and being in Miami.
Yeah, why Miami?
Well, look, my family and myself, we're from Florida. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida, North Fort Myers to be specific. So for me, it was like I needed to leave LA and I needed to come back home. So I left LA at one of the lowest financial and mental positions of my entire life to go back to my mom's couch. Literally, the person that y'all see on the internet back then having money and living in LA, doing things successfully, is now at his mom's house. Congratulations. Like, honestly, it was a really tough time for me, but at the same time, leaving LA and getting back in my home environment brought a new fire to me. And that was when I started Sleep In. That was when I started this business, and I started to get that momentum back once again. So once I started to make some money from that, I said, I can't stay in Fort Myers. I got to go. And I ended up moving to Miami, and this ended up being like the best place, man. Like I've really, really, really enjoyed my time so far in Miami. I've met some amazing people. I still get to enjoy that big city life like I had in LA, but it feels a little better for me personally.
Yeah.
Better people, better quality of life. I used to live downtown LA, so that's just a total shithole. You know, I've never been over there. So yeah.
We love Miami, bro. We're from Canada, Toronto, and moving down here has just been like a different experience, man. Like you said, quality of life, the whole thing.
I think Miami is one of the best cities in America. If you're an entrepreneur, or creator, and you want to be in the scene and be out there, Miami's the place to be.
There's so much. There's so much motivation. We always talk about this, like. You're seeing young guys driving these cars or whatever. Listen, I'm sure some of it is a fucking smoke and mirrors, but I know a lot of it when you get to talk to the person, whatever, you're like, yo, there's young dudes out here hustling, like, and these guys are taking it serious. Like, you know what I mean? So when you look around and you're like, yo, I met 20 people in my industry, 20 people doing the same thing I'm doing, but they're fucking snapping. Like they're going every day as hard as possible. Puts you in a different mindset. Right?
Yeah,
Well, it makes you feel like, there's people doing more than you around, right? And in places maybe probably like Fort Myers, you could probably outgrow it really quickly and be like, damn, like,
exactly.
Okay,
like literally, like the person I'm spending a lot of my time with, one of my mentors, he's 26 years old. He's got $1 billion company almost,
So,
and it's like, you're not going to find that in a small town.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love living it out here, man. Like it's been, and honestly, like my life has changed so much since I lived out here. Like I told y'all about the Shopify store I built to that level. My software company also took off though. Like we've surpassed over 2 million in revenue. And my YouTube channel is like on track to get 1 million subs. And that was always a goal for me.
Yeah.
Like right now this has been the biggest week I've ever had on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm getting like almost 5,000 subs a day.
Damn.
Like that's
let's
new
talk
for
about,
me.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, let's talk about YouTube. I mean, I want to talk about even the content, because I know you adapted your content over the past couple of years. You started doing the street interviews more. started doing some more creative stuff from when you were doing like the Shopify courses kind of.
Yeah,
right?
so I was boxed in a little bit to making videos just about Shopify.
Yeah.
And it's not like nobody boxed me in, but I have my mental boxed in, like this is the only thing people want to hear about. But what I realized was that I can take these advanced business concepts and make them a little more broad and more accessible to everybody. So that's how I started to expand my channel. So instead of making dropshipping tutorials, I started making dropshipping challenges. Watch me start a dropshipping business in 48 hours. Or watch me start a dropshipping business only using TikTok. And now the video is a little more accessible for somebody that has never done it before. Because they're like, okay, I'm gonna watch this guy try to do it. And now that I saw those challenges working, I said, let me try to do some other challenges. I tried making money with NFTs. I tried making money with crypto meme coins. I tried making money in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Different challenges around business. And it made me realize like, these videos were pulling views. These videos were pulling more views than my old videos were doing. So I was like, not only are they more fun, I'm getting my creative side out and I'm getting more views. So it's like, I'm gonna double down on this.
Yeah.
I expanded my channel by doing the challenge videos. And then I had an idea. Okay, I've been talking about my business this whole time. I've been building my business. What if I share one of the stories of my friends? Because I know so many successful entrepreneurs that nobody ever heard of. What if I do that? And the first time I did that was with my friend Justin Phillips. He built this business called Support Black Colleges. Okay. It's a clothing brand. Okay. They literally got their clothes in NBA 2K. Like they did it. You know, it's a sick brand. Crazy. So I flew out to Atlanta. I interviewed him. The video didn't get a lot of views, but it was literally one of the most exciting projects for me ever because I get to shine a light on this story of this other entrepreneur. Yep. So now I got a couple different lanes I could take my channel in. Yep. I could do challenges, I could do interviews, and I don't feel as boxed in as before. And honestly, that's when my channel started to take off because I was pushing myself creatively, doing ideas that I hadn't done before. Yep. With Shopify, I did over 100 Shopify videos. So it was getting to the point where I felt like a goddamn vinyl record that's just stuck on repeat, like repeating the same things, you know? But now it's like I'm excited to post. I'm excited to go film. Like, and I have crazy opportunities popping up. Like, I got a video planned with one of the biggest rappers in New York City.
Jeez.
Like crazy, like things that like if I stayed in this one little like niche, I wouldn't been able to break out.
I think that's important, and people forget that. Like they think like, yo, I gotta just do one thing, stick to it, and run for it forever. I think that's a pretty good way of starting up.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to build up a following based on like you're doing something specific. But then you get to a point where it kind of just dies out, right? And
or you stop being passionate about it.
Yeah,
too.
which it dies out, whether it be your views, whether it be yourself. You're like, I'm not having fun doing this anymore. Yeah. And then I think that's where people get caught up, where it's like, yo, try something new. Give your audience something different to see.
Yeah, I can tell too in some of the videos I watch, like you're having a blast with those street interviews and when you're interviewing people going on the yachts. I mean, I saw a comment too. It was like, this guy's getting rich from asking people how they got rich. Genius. And I'm like, yo, it's fucking true, right?
Well, you know, I have the unique benefit as well, the fact that I had a business and I still have a business. Yeah. So like, I'm not doing YouTube to make my money.
Yeah.
It's like I'm doing it out of the love for the game, and I think that content shows in the content.
That's when the best content comes out.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to meet with Kevin O'Leary. I saw that. That guy's, bruh,
another
legend, bruh.
Yeah, I had to finesse my way into that.
I saw that. You finessed your way. No, you didn't give no fucks.
How'd that come to be?
I'm a finesser in the right ways. So like basically I went to the Bitcoin conference and I didn't have a press pass. I had a general admission ticket. Okay. And basically what I did was I snuck backstage. Okay. So me and my
literally just like running through the back of like the building, you know?
So me and my videographer, we went into the venue and we were looking for like like areas where we could get through. And I found this little like door and we just literally walked through the door, camera rolling and everything. And I just walked down. It was like a hallway, like back in the behind of the convention center. And I'm walking and I see this room and it ends up being the press room. So again, I don't have the press pass, but I had the camera guy. So there's like a front desk where they check in the press information. Yeah. I just walk right past them with the camera rolling. They say nothing to me. Yeah. And then, we were good. And then within like 10 minutes, I saw Kevin and I asked him, hey, can we do a quick interview? And he's like, sure. So
you're a cool guy, nice guy.
Super cool. His manager was trying to kick me out, but he was cool with the interview. And shout out to Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah, he was like, yo, let's do it right now, right?
Yeah,
he's like, yeah,
exactly.
we're about to do this right now. That's crazy. I mean, we're a big fan of him. We're trying to get him on the pod one day.
You'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it up. So in terms of the content, I mean, the way you're going now, is there any sort of content that you haven't touched that you wanna get into? If you can talk about that.
Yeah, sure. I think this series that I have where I interview other people and break down their stories is something that I really love and I'm really passionate about. But expanding a little more outside of just online business, talking about different creatives, different YouTubers, taking these stories, but making them not 100% about business. Okay. So, you know, like I said, I have a video plan with a rapper. I'm not going to drop it just yet. Big video, though. I can't wait for that one.
Okay.
But yeah, I like those stories and really just continuing to document my journey. I feel like as long as I can do that, I can continue to build my audience fast.
And then with viral vault,
yes,
we planning an exit or what?
Well, not in the moment because I like the business a lot and I am really passionate about helping people. Because if you go through my DMs, it's literally 90%. How do I start a business? How do I start a business? How should I start a business? So like to give those people a resource to do that is something that I'm still really interested in right now. But you know, in a couple of years, I would go for it for sure.
No, we have John had a great quote about Happy Dad when we spoke to him about it. He said, because we asked him like, yo, you guys gonna try like another type of alcohol or whatever? And he's like, listen, when you hit oil, you keep drilling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you got people in your DMs who keep asking the same question and you literally have the business to give them the answers to that, fucking run with it.
The business is good, man. I think I'm about to take it to another level, but right now I'll share with you guys, like we're doing over 100K a month from that business.
Beautiful.
So it's like you stack that with the business. I mean, the YouTube revenue, it's like right now is some of the best days I'm doing in business. Yeah. And I want to keep going. I want to keep building.
Yeah.
So
thought you had a good time, bro.
I know, right?
What do you think? What do you think about like the new type of media that's been going out there, like podcasts, and you know, I want to hear your thoughts just on podcasts in general. Where you think they're going to go?
I feel like podcasts will always be around.
Yeah.
I think podcasts is super important medium. Like we need to have real conversations. I think people in real life are having less real conversations.
Yeah.
So that's why they gravitate towards a podcast because they get excited hearing a real conversation. I think a podcast is going nowhere. And now with the introduction of all this short form content, it just blasts podcasts even further.
Yeah.
On the next level. I agree with you. People are so hungry to just like feel like they're sitting around a table with you. So when we can sit here and literally do that with you, all the audience, all the viewers, the listeners feel like they're at these chairs, like with us.
That's a crazy point too. Like people are talking less in real life. Like that's crazy. Like it's true. And they just want to hear real conversation.
And I think that's another reason why we've never we've always strayed away from doing like virtual. Like we don't do Zoom chats. We've had opportunities to like have some very impressive people, but it would have to be virtual. And we were like, listen, we'll fly out to you wherever the fuck you are. We'll come to you. And obviously those didn't come through, but we were like, no, we're not doing it. If it's virtual, I don't care who you are. Straight up, we won't do it.
Yeah. That's a smart choice.
So, but yeah, because it plays off of what you said, right? People want the real conversation. And I'm sure you've done a million podcasts. I'm sure you've probably done some virtual ones as well.
Yeah.
But they don't hit the same. The energy's not the same.
Yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts, but I would say y'all got the best ones so far. Very professional. Love talking to you guys. You know, loving this show so far. So
I want to ask you too, in terms of like the interviewing, what have you learned about interviewing people, especially like street interviews? Because that's like it's improv.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you could plan a little bit of questions, but at the end of the day, you're going based off their answers. So how has that experience been for you? I know we've grown a lot in terms of like interviewing. We don't like to call this an interview because it's like a chat, right? But in terms of interviewing, what like advice can you give and what have you learned from it so far?
Well, you know, I think it's important when you're interviewing somebody to actually listen to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like a lot of people ask a question just like in their brain, it's like gears spinning.
And they're worried about the next question already.
Then the person can literally see that and they're now less interested in your conversation. I also think it is important to ask actually relevant questions. Like I've had people come up to me in Brickell, these little TikTok kids, and ask me the dumbest shit ever. And it's like, okay, now I'm going to give you a stupid answer. Like I'm not going to give this my time, you know? So, you know, ask the right questions and actually be interested in what the people are saying. And another thing too is like, one thing that I feel like I'm good at is taking a advanced topic and turning it into a simplified version. So like when I interview these like really successful entrepreneurs, I'm not asking them, all right, so what's the percentage diversification split between your portfolio? It'll be like, what's the best way for somebody to make money with stocks?
Yeah.
Because that's a more viral clip.
Facts.
People want to hear the basic answer or the basic question with the professional answer.
You know, I've seen you too, even when the stock market crashed and the crypto shit happened, you were out there, you were talking to some businessmen, you know, and like you made that super simple. Like even the questions you asked, you're like, oh, like, should I invest or not? Is this a good time or not? Should I throw 100K or not? And I think like being able to talk to many different people is a super skill.
Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you learned or you think you had that?
I think growing up where I did, it allowed me to build that up because I grew up in like, you know, it wasn't a nice neighborhood by any means. So, you know, I've been around all different types of people. So even though I grew up in that place, when you go to my school, there are some kids that are a little more well off. Then you also have kids that live in my neighborhood that aren't that well off. Black kids, white kids, Asian kids, women, like it's just the mix. So I think growing up like that helped me out a lot. I didn't spend my time around one group of people. And also like I'm cool with most people. Like I don't have any problems with people. So like I think that helps a lot as well.
Yeah.
We always say like the interviewing type thing, like the moving like that, it just helps you like from a communication standpoint in general.
Definitely.
So like when you're walking in a room where you're networking, you know there's some impressive people in the room you probably want to link up with, connect with. Because you've been doing fucking interviews with literal strangers and like, kind of it coming off the top of your head, like you feel more confident walking up to somebody and be like, hey, you know, I'm Jordan, what do you do? And then all of a sudden you're kind of in that same mode. Like that's how we feel. Like, I mean, I could tell you were very good at it from the second that you walked in the room and we had a whole separate podcast off the podcast. Like, you know what I mean?
Off record.
Where like we've had guests come in before, I won't say any names, but where they're like already awkward. And we're trying to like just get them like, you know, comfortable and whatever. And you're like, yeah, you've never done like an interview before, or you don't do this. Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's one of the most important skills, but you definitely have to build it up. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Some people are born with it though, bro. Like some
true.
people are
No,
just
facts.
like naturally just like, my mom's like that. I didn't get that gene from her. I had to actually build it, you know?
Well, you mentioned off record too, like you're trying to get more comfortable with public speaking too.
Yeah, just speaking in a longer form in general, because when I film my videos, a lot of time I stutter and like I mess up a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that on the video, but I really do. So like these help me a lot.
Yeah. In terms of, I like going back to the Shopify stuff, because you probably know so many people in that space. Like, you probably know a lot of people that are successful in that space. Definitely. Is there any product that went nuts and you're just like I can't imagine how that happened? Like someone just said, yo, I just did 10 mil and this is my product. And you're like, what the fuck you talking about, bro?
Yeah, one of my friends, his name's Davey Fogarty. He has a YouTube channel and he created this product called the Hoodie. It's literally like a wearable hoodie. I mean, a blanket. It's a wearable blanket. Okay. So it's just like a big old hoodie, but it's like a blanket.
Yeah, I think I've seen those.
I think I've seen that too.
This man's made over $1 million in a day with this product.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Yo, I'm about to go start a store
I'm
like
about to
just
go
now,
start a hoodie store. What the fuck? That's
Is there any products that you can like give us like some juice on and be like, yo, if I was gonna start like a store right now, I might do something like this?
Off the top of my head, you know, look, I would say I'm not going to drop one product on you guys today, but I am going to say when you're using TikTok and when you're using Instagram, be extremely aware of what you're seeing on your feed because subconsciously, without you even knowing it, every single day you are seeing products and you're not even realizing it because you're just so used to scrolling. So I could tell you a product right now, but now we got a couple thousand people that's going to go run that product. I'm just going to tell y'all to be extra aware when you're on social media because the products are there every day. And this is what I tell my students and I talk about in my videos. Like you just have to know how to spot them. And it's just being more aware and just
being
paying
diligent,
attention.
and just seeing that.
Is there any products where you're like, yo, like that's over with? Like starting maybe like when I see someone starting a clothing brand, I'm like, yo, that's gonna be really hard for you.
Yeah,
like
there's this one product. It's like a sunset lamp, like in your bedroom, like for TikTok. Like probably don't do that one. You know, everybody done did that one. There's like a little moon lamp product. Probably don't do that one. Like at the same time of what I said before of finding what works, you want to find stuff that's like popping right now. You don't want to find a thing that was popping 2-3 years ago. You know, you want to find something that's working right now.
And you're saying to find what's popping, you're just going on socials, seeing what's up. You're going on these different stores, seeing what's selling.
Definitely. There's tools you can use like mine and others that curate a list of those, but you don't need to pay for those. As somebody that owns it, I'll tell you right now, you don't need to pay for something like that. You just need to do it yourself. If you have no money, you can find these products.
Yeah.
I love asking this question. Your journey and where you're at now, has it given you the opportunity to meet somebody that just like kind of blew your mind? Like, you know what I mean? It's like sort of being starstruck, like, bro, I never thought I'd be in the room with this guy or this girl.
Yeah, it has. Many people.
Yeah.
But the one story that comes to mind would probably be with Kid Cudi.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Whoa.
So you remember how I told you I was a finesser earlier, right? So when I was living in LA, one of my boys told me about this art gallery with Takashi Murakami and Virgil Abloh, rest in peace. And I was gonna go there, and I was just gonna go there as like a regular GA, buy a ticket, check out the gallery. Well, I pull up, bro, and there's a massive line out front, like around the block. And I'm like, man, I do not want to wait in this line. So I park my car, and instead of going out the parking garage exit that everybody else does, I go through like the back door of the garage, and it puts me in this alley, which was behind the art gallery. And on the back of the building, there was a staircase. Now, in life, you have two choices, right? You take the risk or you regret it later on in life. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go up this staircase. So as I'm walking up the staircase, there's a security guard up at the top of the staircase. In my head, I'm like, oh, so much for that idea. But I still go through with it anyways. I reach the top of the staircase. I'm like, what's up, my boy? I dap him up and I just keep walking through. He doesn't ask me nothing. He doesn't stop me. He literally just lets me go. And I think it's the way I walk in. I think it's the confidence. It's just like I'm supposed to be here. So I get up there. Ain't nobody there. It's like a couple people hanging around, but they got an open bar and they got a bunch of free food. So I'm like, okay, like something's going on up here. So I'm just gonna hang out. I made it this far. I'm just gonna hang out. I get me a little drink. I'm sipping, hanging out. And there's like an elevator over there. So as I'm looking and chilling, people start coming up this elevator. They was downstairs at the gallery. And one by one, bro, these faces are like really notable people that I've been seeing my whole life. Kendall Jenner pops up. Travis Scott pops up. Usher popped up. And then Kid Cudi, who's one of my favorite artists of all time, pops up in this elevator. And like, I didn't go up to Travis. I didn't go up to Usher. Like, you know, I'm 19 years old at the time. What I'm gonna say? But I seen Kid Cudi and like, I had a lot to say to him. So like, I was like, yo, Scott, what's up, man? How you doing? And he's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, and this wasn't like a fan moment. Like, this was like, let me just talk with this man. And I literally talked with him for like 10 minutes. I told him why I moved to LA, what I'm working on right now. And he really just told me like, I love what you're doing, bro. Like, keep going. You're going to make it. Like, you know, I started just in the same way and I respect what you're doing. So for me, that was probably one of the craziest interactions so far. And that night continued to get even better because I started talking to other people, non-famous people that were there. And I met the guy that organized the party. And he invited me to an after party,
there you go.
which was at the Chateau Marmont, which if you know anything about LA, that's like crazy hotel, like legendary place. So I get to that party and it's the same thing. I met the owner of Complex, Mark Echo. Ooh. I met Luca Sabat, who's like a super famous model. I've met so many people. And the craziest person I met that same day was Wiz Khalifa. And back then I used to, you know, and that man was rolling up and I even took a hit off of his thing. So like, that was really probably one of the craziest nights I ever had in my entire life. And I was 19 years old.
Yo, to get some advice from Kid Cudi, that's crazy.
Legendary.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Is there like, talking about these moments now, was there any other piece of advice that someone gave you, even if they're not famous, that stuck with you?
You know, I think the best piece of advice I got in my life, it's tricky because I get so much. You know, I get so much game. I think the best advice I ever got was probably from one of my friends, and it's in regards to YouTube. Because at the end of the day, like YouTube is the thing that I focus the most on and I've been able to see the most growth on. And it's just that like, you don't have to go off of what other people say about you. Like, you get to create the narrative that you run your life on. So like, I was worried about being known for just Shopify. I was worried about being known for just this one thing, but he's like, nah, bro, like you can go through and you can turn it into whatever you want. So you're in control of your name. You're in control of your narrative. And for me, that's probably one of the best, but man, I could sit and do a whole book of you with advice I got from people. I'm around people that's more successful than me every day. So it's like,
you're
on that manifestation tip. Manifestation. Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. If you put yourself in a mindset that like, yo, I'm not just a Shopify coach or this or that. Like, it starts in your mind, to be honest.
Definitely. And
then everyone else, like you said, like when you walked up those stairs and just the way you were moving, it was the way you were moving that got you in.
Definitely.
You know, so that's dope.
I have a question quickly for myself because you kind of said like you don't smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Drink?
I drink.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like to get drunk though. Because the thing is like, I like to be in control of my surroundings.
Fair.
And like, if I'm gonna go out to a club with my friends or if I'm gonna go out and party somewhere, I don't want to get to the point where I'm like out of control. Like, I like to have a little vibe, you know, I'll have some drinks, but I'm not trying to get like fucked up, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the whole smoking thing, like I definitely had a past with that, but I would prefer not to continue doing that for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I just see that it slowed me down in so many different ways. And it also like, everybody talk about, oh, weed calms me down, For me, that shit just make me more anxious. Like it get my brain going like way faster.
That's
like
a common thing. A lot of people say
it's supposed to like relax you, but it gets my brain going like way more in the wrong direction. So I smoked a lot in my life, but I would prefer to not do that, you know?
Sneako would be proud, eh?
Yeah.
He'd be proud. He'd be proud of that.
I got some questions from our audience. I'm going to bring them up.
Let's do it.
Pull them up. And I mean, of course, the famous question, but
of course,
see what we got.
Shout out to the audience, by the way. You guys are listening to the right show.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Okay, well, the first one is, how did it feel getting that rollie?
Oh, this one?
You answered that.
Man, it felt good, you know. Honestly, like I never was super into watches, but I did a video with this guy named RM Plug, and he broke down the whole watch game for me, took me to his factory and everything, and it made sense to me why people buy watches. So that same day, I bought my first watch.
You looking at it like an investment?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Since I bought this watch, it went up over $1,000 in value.
That's crazy. I mean, we had Timepiece Trading on.
Nice, Neil.
And he was telling us, he opened our eyes up to that shit too, because we were not really looking at that like an investment, you know?
I wasn't really a watch guy, but after that, it's the same thing. Like after that experience, I'm like, oh, I need a.
No, you guys need
bro.
some watches. Every man should get a watch, but I think just be careful always buying from like a secondhand dealer.
Yeah.
You know, because these guys will just tax you so crazy.
You, yeah.
But you know, Neil, so he gonna get you right. Shout out Timepiece Trading. Neil wouldn't do you wrong.
We got a question from our guy Luke. He's on our team actually.
Shout out Luke.
He said, "How do you deal with imposter syndrome?" Which is a common thing. I think a lot of people on there come up or that create content online come across this. And for anyone listening that doesn't know what that is, it's pretty much not really having the confidence in yourself to believe that you have those skills or you are that person that's on camera. So did you ever have to deal with that? And what kind of advice would you give to someone maybe dealing with that?
Yeah, all the time, you know, like especially when you're a person that creates content about business and making money, you naturally have this feeling of like, am I qualified to be teaching this thing? Even though I know more about some other people, you are around people that are doing way better than you. So you say, am I qualified to be talking about this thing? What helped me come to terms with the whole imposter syndrome thing is like not making videos trying to educate people, but literally just sharing my life experience and what I've learned through my life. Not some topic or something I read about in a book, but just documenting my experience. Because at that point, I know I'm telling you the truth and I know I'm telling you my honest experience. But yes, imposter syndrome, something that you're just going to have to deal with. But, you know, if you really stand on what you're saying and you believe in what you're saying, it's not going to stay with you.
Yeah, I agree with that. And especially if it's your own experiences, you're just giving people your life.
Definitely.
Like there's nothing, you can't lie about that. I mean, of course you can, but I mean, it's the internet. You'll probably get checked on it at some point.
It's really just focused on documenting your journey instead of educating people. You know what I'm trying to say?
Shout out Gary V for that, bro. He literally, we talked about this yesterday.
Gary V's always right.
We were laughing, bro. We were literally laughing, sitting on the couch yesterday, just watching some basketball. And I said to him, I'm like, yo, think about the fact that we literally made this podcast because of Gary V.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked.
That's crazy.
Yo, bro, like.
But that's just the power of people preaching online. Like someone can say something and you never know who's listening and could change your whole life.
No, but like we literally made this podcast.
Yeah.
That means you got to get him on.
No, he's going to
100%.
come. We're going to get him. We're going to get him. I seen him peeping my stories the other day. So,
Hey.
But even
Gary.
besides that, even besides Gary, it's like the consistency that he preached. Everything that he preached, we tried to emulate it and
which we were also saying, like, you know, being consistent sounds like such a easy thing to say. Like, yeah, of course, you just be consistent in anything, but it's what goes into making sure you're being consistent that people forget about.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything you do to make sure, like, yo, I'm fucking being consistent. I'm dropping my video once a week, or I'm working on my store this many hours. Like, is there anything that you do personally to make sure that like your consistency level stays high?
I think just being surrounded by people that kind of keep you going, you know, having a team really helps me a lot. And also setting goals every month.
Yeah.
Just having an actionable goal that I could push for every single month really helps me stay consistent because it gives me a reason to keep going.
Yeah. Makes sense. You always need the goals. We always say that.
How are you making those goals though? Like what are you looking at when you're making those goals? You looking at your past month? You're looking at, you know, like, are you being realistic with it? Are you giving yourself like big goals and even if you get halfway there, you're happy? Like how are you running that?
So I actually changed up the way I set goals this year and I've seen a big improvement from it. I used to set goals like this month I'm going to get 50,000 subscribers and 10,000 new customers. And now I set it more for output. So this month I want to produce 4 videos, and this month I want to hire 5 new people, and this month I want to launch 20 new ad campaigns. And I found when I focus on output, one, it's easier to knock those goals off, and I just blow past the previous targets. Yeah. Whereas if you set a target like $50,000 a month, yeah, you might get there, but that in your head is literally like your cap. That's where like you thought you were gonna get. Yeah. So you're gonna move as slow as possible just to crack that goal. So I find when I focus on output, I'm doing numbers that I didn't think I could do.
And it feels like you're always like chasing something rather than just being like, yo, I'm just going to make sure I do this much work rather than chasing like a number.
Yes. I'm getting way more views on YouTube now, and I don't even pay attention to like getting this many views a week or this many views or subscribers a week. Like it's just like make a great video on a bi-weekly basis. Yeah.
And it'll come. It'll happen.
Yeah, you can get lost if you're just staring at the numbers the whole time.
Definitely.
Get lost in the sauce. But even focusing on output, I feel like you have more control over those goals. Because it's
do.
like, you know what I'm saying?
That.
Like,
I really like that.
instead of like saying, okay, I need 100,000 views, that might really not be too much in your control. You know, like you might catch 97,000 views. What are you going to do about the other 3,000?
And what if
right?
you were supposed to get 500,000 views that month?
Then you're cheesed.
Like literally, we did this month. Like it was like TikTok. I just hired a big team to help me with TikTok in the last couple months, and we were like, "Yo, I want to get 5 million views this month on TikTok." Well, that was a shitty goal because we posted one video and it has 14 million views in 2 days.
Wow,
it's crazy insane. For me. Don't worry,
that's insane.
That's crazy.
Insane.
But like, imagine that you just focus on the output. And you're going to get a number that you didn't even think was possible. I didn't think we were going to have a 14 million view video. Like that number is insane to me.
It's facts.
What do you, I saw you had someone, you did a video with him. I don't know if he was like an OnlyFans management or something like that.
Yeah, Steph. Shout out to my boy Steph,
Steph, bro, making bear guap.
Yeah, it's my dog for real.
What do you think about OnlyFans? We had a couple OnlyFans girls on, and obviously it's a booming business. What do you think of the platform? Where do you think it's going?
You know, I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of these young girls out here. But that being said, I don't know if it's the best business to get into, like, morally. At the end of the day, like, especially, like, these girls, they get on here. Some of them, dog, they launch their whole body, everything.
Oh, they're going all out.
And they make $500 a month. You know what that does to your soul? Like, we hear about the people that make a ton of money with OnlyFans and we praise them, whatever. But like, think about all the girls that hear that at 16 and they're like, oh, when I'm 18, I'm going to finally do this. And dude, I see it in my local town. These girls launch OnlyFans. They got 400 friends on Facebook. You're promoting to those people. Like, you know, like it makes sense if you have a big platform already and that's your thing. But like, I don't know if it's like the best path for everybody.
Yeah, but you brought up a good point. Like everyone sees the girls making, let's say, $1 million a month, 500K a month, 40K a month, but no one sees the ones making $50 a month that are actually doing the same thing.
Yeah, you don't see Sally in Kansas with like 3 subscribers, you know, like you don't see her. Like, so,
shout out Sally though, eh?
Yeah,
keep the grind coming. I got another question. Best content strategy for a clothing brand. Shout out Chris Tacky for this one.
Okay, so I don't have too much experience when it comes to building a clothing brand, but I think, you know, you guys are rocking the Full Send apparel. I think that's the ultimate case study. Those guys show a lifestyle and their clothing represents their lifestyle. So I think if you can do that, people will buy your clothing regardless. I would say go for it on TikTok because it's much faster for you to go and grow there. And what I see a lot with these new clothing brands that are popping off is the lifestyle that they're showing is them building the business. Yeah. They're showing the clothes and the bags on the floor. Yeah. They're showing them designing stuff from scratch, and people want to be a part of that movement. So I would say, again, it goes back to what I was saying of just documenting that experience, documenting that journey of building the brand. If people fuck with it, they're going to gravitate to the clothes. Like, I think Nelk did the same thing. You guys follow the journey of Nelk and you want to buy the clothes because they don't make money from YouTube. You want to support them. You want to be a part of that lifestyle. You want to be a part of that family. Yeah. So I say just show you the lifestyle, really.
It's facts.
Yeah.
It's facts.
It's a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
But it always, I think that's with any product, I think, or any brand.
Not any product, because like.
Not any product. I mean, a knife, you don't really probably need a lifestyle. Yeah. But you probably are showing them a lifestyle to a certain extent. But true. I mean, anyways, with that being said, it's time for the famous question, bro.
All right.
We're the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. Do you believe in your position today, money buys happiness?
Personally, I don't think that making money will directly bring you happiness forever. Now, what it will do is it will solve the money problems that you had in your life, which will bring a temporary happiness because now you don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about housing. You don't have to worry about taking care of your people. At a certain point, though, you get used to having that money. You get normalized to the fact that you have the money. And the only thing that will make you more happy is just being grateful for life itself and the people around you and the moments that you experience. So for me, I do not believe that it buys happiness forever, but in the short term, it'll make you feel a lot better. And I would rather have money than be broke. So
it's a fact. It's a fact. All right. Bro, this guy wins. Cut it. That might be our best answer. Cut this shit. That's crazy. Yeah. Nah, listen, man. Wow. I agree with you. We agree with everything you say. We always say another point is how you make your money.
That's so true as well.
That's the other side,
That dirty
right?
money will never fulfill you. It's a black hole.
Yeah, that's a fact. So all your OnlyFans things, I don't know.
Yeah. Find God.
Fine God.
But yo, Jordan, man, it's been a
Appreciate
fucking
you,
pleasure,
bro.
bro.
Definitely.
We're gonna
Appreciate
link
you
up
for
some
having
more
me.
in Miami, bro.
Yeah, I would love
Definitely.
to.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll run it back in a couple months.
Yeah.
Let some things happen.
Sell another
and-
crazy knife, bro, and we'll be back here
yeah.
Yeah.
talking about your millies.
Most
but
definitely.
seriously, once again, appreciate you, bro. I think our audience is gonna get a ton of value from this. And
Make sure you follow him too. We're gonna drop all
Yeah,
his
we'll drop
handles
all the
below.
links.
You already
Yeah,
know.
just go to the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
That's the main thing. Yo.
That's all I
Mine
care
is all
about.
YouTube.
Just go watch one video.
You'll
that
like it.
means
You'll
the
like
world
it.
to
give
me.
him one thumbs up, guys. If you made
Yeah.
it this far, we appreciate you. We love you, and we'll be back with more heat. Once again, shout out Bodog. We love you guys. Appreciate that. And
Real quick before we go,
Yeah,
I want to
run
give
it,
a
run
shout
it.
out to the gallery.
Yes.
They let us use our space today for this podcast. This is one of the dopest spots here in Miami Beach. They got bar, restaurant, full art gallery. Shout out to them. They gave us a good setup, right?
Yo, setup's
yo,
proper. They got
setup
Louis V
nice.
everywhere. They got Vino everywhere, bro. This is heaven for me right now. Yo, shout out Juan,
Yes.
manager here, hooking it up. And shout out you for making this happen last minute. This place is dope. We're definitely gonna have to come have a couple
check it
drinks.
on
Yeah.
on a real night. But yeah,
that's
dude,
it.
appreciate you. We love you, man. Thank you. We love you guys always. And on that note, we are out.